Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today we take up a most critical subject, lust and sexual desire. Sri Aurobindo. When the psychic puts its influence on the vital, the first thing you must be careful to avoid is any least mixture of a wrong vital movement with the psychic movement. Lust is the pervasion or degradation which prevents love from establishing its reign. So where there is the movement of psychic love in the heart, lust or vital desire is the one thing that must not be allowed to come in. Just when strength comes down from above, personal ambition and pride have to be kept far away from it. For any mixture of the perversion will corrupt the psychic or spiritual action and prevent a true fulfillment. What is this idea that the desire of the heart hungering to love women is not sex desire? That and the physical lust are both forms of sex desire. There is a vital love, a physical love. It is possible for the vital to desire a woman for various vital reasons without love, in order to satisfy the instinct of domination or possession, in order to draw in the vital forces of a woman so as to feed one's own vital, for the exchange of vital forces, to satisfy vanity, the hunter's instinct of the chase, etc., etc. Parentheses. This is from man's viewpoint, but the woman also has her vital motives. End parentheses. This is often called love, but it is only vital desire, a kind of lust. If, however, the emotions of the heart are awakened, then it becomes vital love, a mixed affair with any or all of these vital motives, strong, but still vital love. There may too be a physical love, the attraction of beauty, the physical sex appeal, or anything else of the kind, awakening the emotions of the heart. If that does not happen, then the physical need is all, and that is sheer lust, nothing more. But physical love is possible. The vital has to be carefully distinguished from mind, even though it has a mind element transfused into it. The vital is the life nature, made up of desires, sensations, feelings, passions, energies of action, will of desire, reactions of the desire soul in man, and of all that play of possessive and other related instincts, anger, fear, greed, lust, etc., that belong to this field of nature. Mind and vital are mixed up on the surface of the consciousness, but they are quite separate forces in themselves. And as soon as one gets behind the ordinary surface consciousness, one sees them as separate, discovers their distinction and can, with the aid of this knowledge, analyze their surface mixtures. It is quite possible, and even usual, during a time shorter or longer, sometimes very long, for the mind to accept the divine or the yogic ideal, while the vital is unconvinced and unsurrendered and goes obstinately on its way of desire, passion, and attraction to the ordinary life. Their division or their conflict is the cause of most of the more acute difficulties in the sadhana. It, brackets, the vital ego, is part of the ordinary human nature. Everybody has it. It has to be purified and transformed, the ego being replaced by the true vital being, of which it is a distorted shadow. The forces of the lower nature are often rebellious and resist transformation out of attachment to the familiar movements of the ignorance, desire, vanity, pride, lust, self-will, etc. But they are not in their nature hostile. The hostile forces are those whose very raison d'etre is revolt against the divine, against the light and truth, and enmity to the divine work. The mother. Sex seems rather to be more of the body. It is only when you pass from the lower to the higher hemisphere that you can completely erase the thing. Sex belongs to nature in her lower working, and as long as you belong to that nature, her working will be there automatically in you. Question to the mother. At present I am much disturbed by sex difficulty. My rejection is not of much value, and I feel confused. Mother, you have to persevere until it is valid. 1933. When you will think no more of sex at all, and see no more women as women, but only as human beings, then, and then only, I will know that you are beginning to get cured. Sexual desires do not come from eating well, but from thinking wrongly and concentrating on that. The less you think about it, the better it is. You should not concentrate on what you do not want to be, but on the contrary, on what you want to become. 7 June 1964. Instead of being dominated by the sex impulsions, they must be put under the domination of the highest will. There are also lots of little entities, quite repugnant, in very large numbers, which originate from that wretched sexual desire. If this desire, parentheses, with its corresponding entities, end parentheses, is not dissolved at the time of death, these entities continue to exist, and they come and settle in the atmosphere of sensitive persons to goad them, to egg them on. These entities feed upon the vital force emanated at the time of the act, and naturally Their only desire is to get as much nourishment as they can. I have seen people enringed by dozens of these beings. It is a very concrete thing. I don't know if you have heard of Maurice Magret, the writer who had come here. He has said in one of his books that people who have a very strong sexual instinct are surrounded by a swarm of these small beings who plague them to satisfy themselves, to feed upon the vital force. He knew the thing quite well. He had observed it. To those who are ever so little sensitive, it is very perceptible. Even the people who are tormented very often feel that the impulse comes from outside. It arouses something inside them, but they feel that the excitation comes from outside. And there are hundreds of thousands of them, for unfortunately, it is one of the greatest difficulties of mankind. It is a terrible slavery.